if you want to pay your domestic staff, for example, would you rather you to further debit your account, or you could even leave the interests, for example. So what if the interest that is being generated on your investment, sorts out just payment of domestic staff? So it's all about creating those structures and ensure that we're not overwhelmed, we're pretty much, safeguarded, and we're able to, understand what the financial risks are, and more like create a structure that would give us control to manage what our financial future, look like. I think that's pretty much what I understand. Thanks. Hello. Thank you.
And why is
Hello. Can you hear me?
Oh, hello. Okay.
Okay. Yes, I can.
All right, all right. Thank you so very much, Todimo. And it's like we forgot to introduce ourselves. You and I know each other, but we need to introduce ourselves to our audience actually. So I'm Yetunde Steven from IEI Business Development Unit. Thank you.
Alrighty. So I'm Oluwatodimo Oluwoleoni. I work out from the asset management business, and I'm the regional head West for the asset management business. Thank you.
Thank you too. Okay, let's continue with our discussion.
Yeah.
So
Okay,
the
so
reality.
I'll talk about, what women go through today, what my concerns are basically. So it's just about, re-emphasizing the fact that women work hard, right? But when it comes to finances, we're more like giving the short end of the stick, right? There's a lot of gender gap going on.
Mm, mm,
Um, there's just a whole lot of restrictions. I think there was a lady that I spoke with earlier on in my past life, and she spoke about, how she was being sidelined because she just had a baby, right? She was more like pitching for the role of of a CFO, and the concerns were, how is she going to cope? She just had a baby, more like decisions were made on her behalf without even asking her, to even know if she can handle it. Those are the kind of things women face from time to time, where decisions are made on their behalf because they feel, oh, I don't think she can handle it. So the burden of having to, more like, should I say, look the part, right? So I need to manage myself. I need to be all put together. I need to provide, for my family. There's the black tax, right? Where you have to take care of your parents, you have to take care of family, right? Both extended and nuclear. There's also the fact that would you rather just keep spending rather than creating a structure that will give you additional income? I mentioned earlier on, how people can actually use or live off their interests, where you're able to, have investments that could even settle some of your obligations, for example, paying your domestic staff, right? So I think the whole idea of us being here is, letting people gain awareness, of what we are. Just let them know that we're not, you're not in it alone. A lot of women face similar issues, right? And we're just here, to also ensure and let them know that there's the opportunity to gain control of what their financial future should look like. So that's basically my thoughts on that. Thank you.
láti páàkì nínú mọ́tò yìí gbogbo chair yẹn kó fi omi àtọṣẹ nù.
Thank you very much, Todimo. That aspect of the car we're talking about, like the one you just mentioned now, where decisions are, are been taken without even involving her. Do
Mm.
you think that still happens in today's world, especially
Yeah,
in corporate environment?
yeah, it does. It does. And I also mentioned the fact that she was actually more like next in line to be becoming the CFO, and she confided in me to say, oh, that she had, those type of conversations, and she was worried because nobody even approached her to say, oh, do you said, do you think you can handle it? More like give her an equal opportunity, to get in a role. So if it's going to be a process of interview, can she be one of the candidates, that will be interviewed for that role? So that way you're able to even size her up or even know what her capabilities are, right? So it still very much happens. And that's why we're here, really, just to talk about it and see how we can, begin to create that structure for ourselves whereby we don't rely on such decisions. Let's make our presence bold, let people know that we're actually capable of handling all of this, irrespective of all of the um, tasks or burdens that we all carry, right? I think women are pretty much strong
Mhm.
and can handle it once given
Of course.
the opportunity. So,
If given the opportunity. Okay, like this scenario you just painted out, what would have been your advice to that woman?
my advice was basically to engage, whoever she was reporting to more like let them understand or know what her fears and concerns were. And this worked because she was actually, more like scheduled to take part in the interview. One candidate that was being, interviewed for the role. And eventually, I would say, unfortunately, she didn't, get the job. However, um, she got a boss who was a female or a woman who probably could have better, and they built a fantastic relationship. Yeah.
Fair enough. Okay, there's something about even the pay. There's
Mm.
the gender pay. I don't know. Do we still have that? You know,
Uh, so
that
I would
a
say,
woman or sitting in the same position with the other gender,
mhm.
kind of you're not being paid, same. I don't know. That's still the thing in our
Well,
world.
well, to the best of my knowledge, I would say it still exists. However, there's the awareness that's been created, the fact that people are trying to close all of the gender gaps where women feel
Mm-hmm.
like they are not, being treated fairly. I
Mm-hmm.
like the fact that, we're being listened to, we're being heard. So I would say it still exists. However, it's not as rampant as we used to have in the past, where, you know, it was more like the order of the day, where you would even hear, or you would get to be asked embarrassing questions about what you plan to do with yourself in the next 5 years. Do you plan to get married? Do you plan to have children? I remember there was even a time where some people claimed, when it was being said that there are certain institutions or executives that you'll be
Mm.
asked to leave, right? I don't think I hear of such anymore. And that just speaks to the fact that the power of awareness, is really strong. And now that we are given the opportunity on, I would say, a yearly basis, on an annual basis, to speak about what women are facing. There's a theme attached to it. So it's just really about how everyone is, creating that awareness. And even as women, you're not just working on yourself alone, you're giving opportunities to other women within that space to grow, so it's just creating awareness and ensuring that people just align. It shouldn't just be just for that day or just because you want to post, make a social media post and the rest. It should be what women should live by on a daily basis. So how do I ensure that my fellow, gender is being taken care of? How do I ensure that they are given the opportunities to grow as well?
Exactly.
So
Should be like
uh,
a torch that you pass on to the next generation, actually.
exactly. So
Mm.
it's just basically um, left for us, to keep creating that awareness and also ensuring that we are giving opportunities to other women also to, grow as well as gain whatever freedom that they require. So that's just my thoughts.
Thank you so very much. So we've been able to address the issue on the challenges of, gap, with women. We've talked about motherhood and career. We've talked about the gender pay gap. I guess we've also touched women and entrepreneurship in this a little, discussion already.
Yeah.
And then the investing confidence also, in women that we've touched. And then I don't know, can we look at financial dependency? Independency?
Yeah. So
Can we look at it here?
yes, so part of what, would more like empower women, right, is to ensure that they know what they want from life. How do you want to run your life? And part of it is gaining independence, getting that financial freedom. So what do you do with your income? Do you just spend, on black tax? Do you just spend because you really don't have responsibilities and all of that? So given the rising cost of living, with all of the volatility going on, I would tell anybody whenever I have the opportunity to speak with people, I just say it's fine leaving your funds, idle. However little interest you're getting on it, it's putting your money to work. And part of what I would tell people is how do you, what do you do? The fact that you need to be disciplined, you need to be consistent. So you need to start early and start small, right? So look for investments, that will not to break a leg to start. So for example, you can start up a mutual fund that probably, needs you to start with as little as 1,000 naira or 5,000 naira, and then build consistently. So it doesn't, or rather it won't there's no restriction to how much you can invest. However, start little and start small. I would say, what are your life goals? What do you plan to do, say, in the next 5-10 years? So if it's a case whereby you want to own an asset, you want to buy a house, you want to have certain types of vacations planned, do you want to go back to school for masters and all of that? You need to start saving now, right? So that you don't get choked in future, you don't get overwhelmed. What's your risk appetite like? Are you looking at something more aggressive? Are you a conservative investor? Are you all about just, however little, or you just want to, fly? So that's very necessary so that you know how to invest appropriately. And then there's also something I keep telling people, the fact that you're leaving your money in your bank account is totally different from you investing. We can all see from all of the debits that we get. So it's either account maintenance or there's, you being debited for a, a, a debit card, and all of that. So, but when your money is being invested, I think the only debit you see is when the money is moved to your investment account, right? And then from time to time, you get to see money grows. You get to enjoy the of compound And then eventually, once you're consistent and you're disciplined, you're able to achieve what you plan for your life, even if it's retirement. We know people that even say they want an early retirement. How do you start? So you need to start planning now. You need to start investing. What's that goal? And then with all of this and with all of the funds that you've been able to amass as an individual, you have created wealth for yourself. In fact, you would also be considering, what are the things I would like to pass on to the next generation. So it's not just a now, it's also something that retire well and also be passed on to the next. That's, self is what I would say financial independence, access whatever you need based on that you have set yourself, you have grown consistently, you're able to plan. So for example, if you plan to do your master's or go for your master's in the next 2-3 years and you have said now, you're able to access that form of education. You don't necessarily borrow from any family member or anybody at the expense or the detriment of anyone. So actually make certain decisions on your own because you have your own you have your funds, you're able to take ownership of your financial journey. So I think that's pretty much what I would advise women, no matter how little, save. If you have family members you're taking care of, your investments, or they automate it so you can create a direct debit whereby you don't even get to worry about, oh, how is this money going to be transferred to my account. Once the money hits your account at a particular day of the month, you will process investment account, and then it runs automatically. So same way your pensions is being, deducted from source, you can actually create a structure whereby you don't have to worry about me doing the transfer to my investment account. The direct debit sorts that out. And you're able to build either if it's an emergency fund or you actually have, real life goals that you're targeting. So that would be my advice. Start small, be diligent, be disciplined, and be consistent. And you will see how far you would go. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Todimu. So, I would say from what you have said so far, you've said to us that financial independence, provides women with security and freedom of choice, right? It
Yes.
also allows women to have healthy, how will I put it, competition, even when it's to their needs. It builds some confidence and self-reliance where you don't have to depend on anyone, for
exactly.
anything. You have to go borrow. If you learn, do what to save. Not without saving here. We're not saying leaving your money in the bank. Leaving your money in the bank, your money will remain the way it is, even reduce. Rather,
Exactly.
invest.
Yeah.
You can invest as low as 1,000 naira. Start as little as 1,000 naira, because some women in our world today, they're still not aware of this. In their own head, when you say, okay, please, let's leave it in the bank. Leaving your money in the bank for me is a waste of that money, because those people in need of the money will go there and get it and use it.
Exactly.
At the end of the day, do debit you. So rather what to do is invest this money, like the money market suggestion. Is that invest it in as Noreen Beja, asset management.
Yes.
Thank you. So I think we've been able to do
and I just even remembered something, right?
All right.
In addition to investing and creating a structure works, you can also not, overemphasize the importance of insurance, be it health insurance or something that has to do with
We're coming there. Let's even just understand
yes,
the money aspect. Then
yes.
we'll
So
come to
Yes, because that's actually what I tell people whenever I go for my sessions. Create that structure so that you don't necessarily have to spend anyhow, right? So that's just it.
Women should learn to, number one, invest.
Mhm.
When you invest, you should also learn to spend this money.
Mhm.
Because women are in code, they say they are soft. Somebody will just cry to you, you give out. You
Yeah.
don't have a budget. You're just spending. You will spend until you are spent. You understand? And then you have
Yes.
to now start. To me,
Mhm.
is foolishness. You should
Mhm.
have a budget. Yes, it's good
Exactly.
to help people. It's good to support people. Should you support people to your own detriment? Of course not.
Mhm. Yeah.
You should know your needs, because you also have needs. Because when the chips are down in the family, everything is going to be staring you in the face.
Yeah.
You will be the one to carry the
The
burden.
burden,
And
exactly.
men, for who they are, they won't go out and talk to anybody. They will just be in the house
Yeah.
sucking it
Sucking it
in.
in,
It's your
yeah.
own head that will do the work.
Mhm.
So if you leave everything to them, that okay, it's working, is this, is that, it's okay.
Mhm.
But they say life happens, Abby.
Yeah.
When life happens, what do
What
you
do you
have
do?
in
Yeah,
place to take
exactly.
care of it? Well, coming back, we
Mhm.
have the insurance aspect, but I don't want the insurance aspect to overshadow everything. Let's finish the aspect of, the money, then we'll now dive into securing
Insurance.
it,
Okay.
in the insurance way. Thank you so very much on that. I think with that, we can move to the next point, building wealth as a woman.
Mhm.
Investing small amounts consistently, which you have already talked about.
Mhm.
Understanding compound growth, when you invest like 1,000 today, maybe in a month's time, your 1,000 is already having some interest. By the time they
Yes.
roll it over again, you have more than 1,000, say
Mhm.
1,002 or 1,003, to say the least. By the time you're rolling it in, the interest that will come will be more. And like that is growing.
Mhm.
And like that is growing. Some women will even prefer to buy maybe a B and all of that. Well, I'm not saying it's not good
Yeah.
to buy B, but when the ships are down, B
Yeah.
will not help.
It will help.
Some women, they do everything. They won't even invest in their own health. We're talking about women and wealth. And wealth, they say, is health also.
Mhm.
Some women cannot take little from their money and even go for annual medical checkup.
Check up. Exactly.
They don't know it's an investment too. All this wealth you are building, who exactly are you building them for? For your children. Are
Exactly.
you not supposed to enjoy part of it too?
Mhm.
Okay, if the health is not there, so what is the wealth for? Ask me.
Exactly.
How do you
Yeah.
enjoy the wealth
The
when there
wealth
is no
without the
wealth?
health. Yeah.
So I think we also need to tell our women on a yearly basis, go to you if your HMO covers it. But I'm very
Mhm.
sure no HMO would cover everything 100%. You
100%.
should be
Yeah.
able to contribute to
Uh,
it to
who did that
ensure
place like
that
this?
on a yearly basis, you go for your annual checkup. So if there
Yeah.
is anything, it will be detected early enough and be
Early. Yeah.
treated.
Mhm.
You're
Mhm.
with me?
Yeah. So
Exactly.
something I
Thank
wanted to
you.
add was, you remember what happened
Mm-hmm.
during COVID when all of the nice things that we had in our wardrobes, we couldn't wear it, they started spoiling. You know, I had to emphasize the fact, would you keep buying things that you would no longer need after a while? So I also like the fact that, there are certain new businesses that have come up, which is the thrift aspect where people, would pretty much sell off things that they feel like they've outgrown. So that way they're able to even live off whatever is generated from sale. So I'm not just buying things to keep, and take up space in my house. I can actually money from it. I think there was even a movie that was trending sometime last month whereby the husband actually told her, see, I no longer have money to take care of your excesses, right? And the girl had like pretty much Birkin bags and all of those, high-end luxury bags. And she thought about it and sold most of them. And the money that was generated, was something that she could actually use to maintain the family for the period pending till the husband, comes back on his feet. So those are the things. Do we just buy things because we like them? We should buy things that if push comes to shove, for example, there's a second-hand value so that you can actually trade and it will generate, some form of income for you. So more like spend, appropriately, spend on valuable things, So those are my thoughts.
Exactly. How about the issue of having maybe a side hustle along with it,
Yeah. That's also
side
very
hustle for
important.
women.
Yes, that's
Mhm.
very
I know
important because
employers may not like this, but something we all need to look at. Something that will not hinder or impact on your
yes,
9 to 5, but
exactly.
something you have going on for you,
Mhm.
where
It's more
you have
like,
some.
yeah, sorry. So it's more like diversifying your income streams. So one is the
Mhm.
investment bits. If you have passion about something, it could be interior decor, it could be you writing a blog or social media influencing and all of those things. Those things might not necessarily impact your 9 to 5, right? But they are things that you can do over the weekend, without stressing yourself because you have passion for it. So, and we've seen how, people have grown exponentially in that space, just doing things that they're passionate about. So it might
Even
not
learning a trade.
necessarily exactly learning a trade.
Because these days, when
Yeah.
I sit and look at how much fashion designers, they charge on a
Mhm.
simple dress, in my
Exactly.
head, I'm like, this thing, if you
True.
have the time, why not do
Why
it?
not? Yeah, wig making.
I'm telling you, my niece, few years back, came to me, yeah, I want a job, something for IT. I'm like, which job? Please go and learn a trade, my friend. Leave all those things. Go and learn a trade.
Mhm.
As I speak, she's making money from it. She has
Can you?
graduated, she's a lawyer, she's
Wow.
into confectionery, she bakes cake and
Wow.
all of that. Like, you have to come and
Mhm.
it.
Exactly. You
Yes.
advise her.
I appreciate that about Ghana a lot,
Mhm.
where after secondary school, you're meant to learn it.
Mhm.
So even with that, you can even sponsor yourself while in school.
True.
If it's hard making, make it. Thank God
Mhm.
you mentioned wig now. Make it. If it's to
Mhm.
sew something, do
So, yes.
something that you can also make money on your
Mhm.
own as a woman. You
Mhm.
don't have no wait on anybody till they give me this until my husband brings
Yeah.
it. No.
Mhm.
Much
Now,
as we're not saying men should just sit down there, because women are becoming stronger. Of course, trust women now. My money is my money, your money is our money. But at the same, but at the same time, learn to invest in yourself,
mhm.
and in a way you are giving back.
Mhm.
You understand? To yourself, one, to your family, and then to the society at large.
Yeah, very, very important.
Mm-hmm. So women should learn, like my mom we used to say to me that women should learn to turn kobo to naira.
Hmm.
In other words, you should be able to do business. You should understand the rudiments of business, no matter how little.
Yes.
So that way, like they say, if you've carried your own water, when you're given a cup of water, you will appreciate it. Some people, when you give them something, they be like, this small thing. Do you know what it costs that person to give you that?
To give you, was it
Telling
5
you.
million?
So if it's
Yeah.
something you're doing, you know what to put into it to be able to make that money. When it's given to you, think you will
Yes,
learn
you
to
appreciate it
appreciate that
better.
sense
Yeah.
of, yeah, appreciation will be there
Mhm.
because you know what it takes to get that.
Mhm.
All right.
It's
I
very
think we should
important.
exactly move to the next one now. I don't know if the audience, if you have something like a question for us or you have something to say before we move to the insurance aspect of today's discussion. So open to the audience now, please. Can we have your contribution, your question on what we've discussed so far? Anyone from the audience, you can unmute and speak to us. Thank you.
Okay, good morning.
Morning.
Okay,
Good
it's been a
morning.
wonderful session.
Ruby.
Okay, it's been a wonderful session speaking about women's finance and money and protection. And then, in the spirit of the International Women's Day, which Todimo actually every day, we see most organizations actually coming out to celebrate women when it is that period of time because it is internationally recognized. But then bringing it down home to different organizations, how much are we actually doing to support a woman? Trying to draw a balance between the woman's career and the fact that she's actually the one that handles the home, basically. You see, as you move along the ladder, the rung of the ladder, it's easier for you when you are the upper echelon of the career that you can take permission, you can go out of the office without even like taking permission from any other person. But against somebody that has just started a career and she's filled with family, with having children, and they need to take permission maybe once in a while to be able to like fend for the children. Is either maybe I want to take my child for immunization, or I'm taking my child for one thing or the other. And you see most human resource departments actually taking it against that female gender as being maybe taking undue advantage or overly asking for permission to be out. You start putting this person at par with another guy that works in the same unit, she probably will be contributing more, but you are quick to say, oh, don't mind Shola, she's always taking permission. Why am I taking permission? I'm taking permission because you even know that I have a child is going for, like the mentioned about the person that is actually supposed to be qualified for a particular post, but because they felt she will not have the time. So it's easy for human resource department to actually conclude on a woman and say that, oh, she will not have the time. So don't let us include her. So what are we going to do to, because it's not just about we sitting on this space to say, this is why we at issue. We are women ourselves, and at the ends of most organizations are so many females that are there, and yet they fail to see that they had actually passed through that phase in life where they have to like give opportunity to a woman, even though she has challenges. The challenges are okay. I have to take care of my child. There's a opening the school events. There's something. Men are always pushing us into us. A man that is not even as myself, but because it's always at the office, you are now choosing between the two. Whom am I going to give this slot to? You now say, okay, Mr. Shego is always around. Shego is always around. She will come today now and tell you that my XYZ. So how do we now draw that balance in a career and family, as it case may be? How do we draw that? What do you advise us to do? Because we want to be able to build resources. It's when you grow and have enough money to plan, to set aside for investments for one thing or the other. But I have not been able to, I'm not promoted because I do a 9 to 5, and then my career is when you promote me from one level to the other. But the reason you're not promoting me is because you feel, oh, take minutes. So how do we encourage organizations to actually look at this aspect of characteristics of a woman that has to do with taking care of the home, the responsibility of your family, the career, and everything, the balances? How do we encourage, or have we got to say to this? It's not a question per se, but it's just like it's in my heart. What do we do?
Yeah.
How do we cross these hurdles and grow? Thank you. able to say something.
Yes,
Thank
yes.
you very
Very,
much, Mrs. Odubeyi, for that contribution. Also,
mhm.
I will start by saying a woman should not feel, man because of these responsibilities on your shoulder. It's responsibility that been given to her. Just like a man cannot do all of that. They don't even know how to do it. And even if allowed to do well, we all know it. You always have to come to check some. And then it's also our own part of investing into the world, into the family, and into the society. So it's like a teamwork. We're busy helping the family by taking care of the children, shouldn't be seen as maybe a second citizen, if you ask me. And I shouldn't be shut down on anything because I have to take excuse, take care of certain things. The man who gave back to the man is not the woman. Of course, you have to nurture, you have to take care of that man to become what he will be later in life. So it's a process. So no woman should be condemned or looked down on because of that. My point. So the more I don't that regards.
Yeah, so I would say it's actually for women to take, positions in certain areas that would also help with all of the challenges. So it's a case whereby we should have more women, that would be HR managers, for example, that would, more like understand what their fellow women are going through and would not see it as the person is taking a piece or taking advantage of the system. Another would be, I like what Yetunde mentioned earlier on, where it's a teamwork, right? And that's why I would always advocate for people to have supportive spouses. So in cases whereby it's not very difficult for, the individual to take the excuse to attend to the families that day is something that the husband also assists with. It's not an everyday or every time thing. It's a partnership, right? So where I need your help, you can step in and say, oh, I can do it this time around. Or we can even have like a schedule to say, okay, I'll do it this month, you do next month, right? That's part of the fact. If you have a supportive spouse, you pretty much enjoy those kind of benefits. Um, Something else, Shola Bobi mentioned is the fact that um, saying something around, oh, grow my funds to the extent that I'm able to invest. Like I said earlier on, you don't have to start with ₦1 million. You can start with something small and grow. As you grow our corporate ladder, you would, increase what your contributions would look like. So I don't believe that you would say, oh, I'm currently earning this, I'm expending on this, I'm supporting this, I'm doing that. I think Yetunde mentioned it earlier on. You would not do others' lifestyle and impoverish yourself. You need to also plan for your future. So, and that means you have to be deliberate. You have to set something that will be comfortable for you to set aside, that won't hurt anything. Create that direct debit so that you don't have to be the one to do the transfer. It is debited automatically from your account and it moves away. So that way you don't have to worry about it. And then if anybody comes to meet you and that's, debit has happened, you can only work with what you currently have. Not that you will be thinking of, oh, do I go and pre-liquidate, so that I sort out this person's need. Trust me, if anything happens to us today, right, and we've been funding their lifestyle and we're unable to fund it anymore, they will definitely move on to the next person, So we can't keep funding people's lifestyles and impoverish ourselves. We have to create, gain control of our finances, plan, for the rainy day. If need be, get a side hustle. We've mentioned several things there. It could be wig making, it could be making of cakes, it could be sewing. There are so many things that one can do, but the whole idea, create a community, that is supportive for yourself. And also for women, it's, time for us to start rising to the occasion, start rising to the table, take strategic positions within the firm, that would enable women, grow without having, those challenges of, oh, am I the only woman that is taking permission? Meanwhile, these permissions or excuses are actually valid, but if people, do not have or understand what the pathway is, they would never really understand why, you're going on, you're taking your child for immunization, or you need to go for antenatal, and all of those things. So we need to rise to the occasion so that way, these things, we create opportunities for women to actually live their lives as women and also grow. Thanks. So those are my thoughts.
Thank you very much. I don't know if Toyin is on this call and willing to say something as it concerns our area now. Toyin, human capital, are you there? Do you want to say something to us? 1 minute? Hello, Toyin, are you there?
Yes, I'm hearing it today.
All right. Would you like to say something to us in this area?
Well, you've said it all, both of you. Hi, Chodima. I think it's very imperative for women to prioritize their self, their health, their well-being, because ultimately what you have is what you can give. And if you're not 100%, you'll be able to deliver 100%. In the aspect of having a side also, I think it is very necessary. You know how economy is. You can't just rely solely on your 9 to 5. Even if you're being paid $1 billion, you have to have that thing on the side where you'll be able to add to and be able to draw from on rainy days if they should come up. So I think I agree with what has been said thus far. Thank you.
Thank you very much,
Thank you.
Toyin. So let's quickly move to the last aspect of our discussion this morning, which is protection first. We've talked about creating, investing, this wealth. Is that all? Of course, we need to do what to protect this wealth we're talking about. And so that will lead us into what the insurance aspect of this discussion. How do we protect this wealth? It's not by keeping it in a safe in one corner, of the roof or under the ground or maybe in sock away or in
Under
one
the bed.
office that snake will come and eat with time,
Yeah.
that snake will eat or one bird will eat or a hand swallow. So we're talking about insurance now. What is insurance? We just want to speak it to just anybody on the streets. And I know we all do know what insurance is, but just give us the opportunity of saying it to us once again. We'll say insurance is a financial protection system, or we can also say is a risk transfer, mechanism where a person pays a small regular amount of money, which we call what? The premium, that you pay to us as IEI so that we can do what? We can protect you against, the unexpected whenever they happen. Simply put, that is what insurance is. It can be against illness, it can be against accident, it can be against loss of property or debts. When we talk about life, which we don't do, we know we only do what? That of property. We don't do life. We are a non-life company, but that doesn't mean we don't know that there is a life company, and we also need to speak to it, because as a company, I know we have the life policy taken out with a life company out there. So we need all of this, to help us, cover our losses against what? Financial loss. You understand? Just like we've been talking, build wealth, learn to invest in something, do business and all of that. When all of that is done, what next? We're supposed to do what to protect it. And that will be taking us to the area of insurance. Insurance is to help you protect this thing. It's not so much of a money, it's just little percentage of, the value of that property. Your business, that your small business, that your small, maybe hairdressing, salon, or maybe that your small provision shop or whatever business. It could even be a fashion, house or anything. Insurance will take care of it. Even your family, your health is part of insurance. Insurance will take care of it. There are times, we don't pray for it, but actually life happens. And that will be taking us to the aspect of life, insurance. You go to the hospital and you discover the bill is so much. And then all your earnings or your savings or your investments will now be poured to the take care of health. Meanwhile, if you have a policy in place, it's just for you to go there and do what? And make a claim.
Yeah.
Or even if you pay it out, by the time you go back to the company and make a claim, you will be what? You get a reimbursement from the company. So insurance is very important to us as women, not only as women, even men, to our businesses and to everything we think we owe. Number one, we talk about health insurance, which I've mentioned earlier. We talk about life, like I mentioned life too, it provides financial support to dependent or family members in the event of death, but income protection, where women are unable to maybe go about normal businesses because of sicknesses or illness, or there is insurance for it. Also, then about your assets, which is where we are, asset insurance, property insurance, your vehicle, your home. We have home insurance, that is, we have, what do we call it? House owner, householder, which you can take out against fire, burglary, and rest. Part of it is also all risks, where you have your jewelries and all of that. Even your laptop is part of this. The things that are very attractive, which you also carry along with you when you're going out. They're not just in the house. So it's not just against fire, but again, you losing them or being stolen, Then we talk about what again as part of the assets. Talk about what again, your business, We have the con loss when there is fire. We have the GPA when you're on your office, and the GPA covers 24 hours, wherever you are. It must not be when you are in the office, could be on your way to the office, could be on your way out of the office, or in as much as you're still in that employment, your GPA will cover you, and many others like that. To talk about business insurance, now protect your business from losses due to accident, property damage, or operational risks. We have insurance for SMEs, which we stormed Yaba, Tegosho Market, like some 3 weeks ago, SME, small business owners, that we can protect whatever asset, whatever property, business, against all these eventualities. There's micro insurance also. Micro insurance, is this insurance created to take care of low income earners? So you don't say, oh, insurance is for people that earn so much. Even we have insurance for low income earners, small scale traders. It will shock you that we have insurance for them. Yes. So what we're saying in essence is that women, we should be wiser. We are wise enough to build this wealth, but we should be wiser to protect this wealth by way of insurance, having an insurance policy. There are many policies, as we speak. So when you come to us as insurance experts, we will do what? Investigate what you do, we will assess it, and we'll be able to tell you the policy that will be good for you. So I know we're all in this space, we understand this, but do we go out to preach this to our family members, to our friends, to our church members, and some people in this insurance world, even ordinary third party, they've not been able to sell. And that's where you're making your own earnings from. And then you cannot sell it. Is that you're ashamed of that that industry where you belong, or you just feel like I'm not a marketer, so no big deal. No, you should be able to sell it. And it's good enough because that way you've been helping yourself make more money apart from your salary. It's so good in that aspect because they'll pay you your commission. In as much as you are a registered agent, you will get the commission. And if you are not a registered agent, there's a way around it too. So what are we saying?
So at least people
Everybody should be doing something. Yeah, that way you'll be earning extra apart from your salary because you do what you can sell insurance. And the question is, do you even have any form of insurance? Because what you don't have, you can give to others. You can't be coming to me to tell me about insurance when you yourself, you're not.
Sure.
Because then they ask you, insurance that will not pay. Insurance that when there will be problem now, they will say, go and bring your father's, your grandmother's death certificate, all sort of stories. But if it's something you've been practicing and you by any way claim in the past, you should be able to categorically insurance pays when there is claim. All you need to do is document it and you will be paid, especially if it covers the event itself. If it's a risk that is covered under the policy, and why not?
I agree. So, but
Exactly.
I think it's all about, which is what people don't understand. So, but one thing I would like for you to probably, expatiate on is the fact that people can actually, insure their valuables, right? And then maybe something else, people would like to understand is what are the cost elements attached to it. So if I have, something, what's the minimum amount or minimum, thing I can invest? Must it be up to a 500,000, 1 million naira worth of assets? What exactly is the minimum? So if I want
Let
to
me even start
insure
with
a
the
valuable,
let me even start with the common one which we all know, motor insurance. You can insure as low as 15,000 for third party.
Wow.
15,000 naira. That way, we're not even asking you what's the worth of your vehicle. We're just saying we will cover you, your third party, liabilities under this policy, up to the tune of 3 million naira. Can you imagine you pay us 10,000 and when there's property damage, third party property damage, we can pay up to the tune
That is
of
up to
3
this.
million
Wow.
naira. That's a lot. Sometimes
That's
when
a
people
lot.
say something, I'll be like, do you even ask yourself question, where did I get the money to pay this much with my 15,000 naira? As low as
Exactly.
15,000 naira, yes, that can be
Wow.
taken care of.
Wow. It's quite interesting,
Even travel insurance, I know we have as low as maybe 6 or 5,000 naira. Sometimes I'm like, what kind of business is it? How many will I need to write, to meet my target? We have
Exactly.
as low as that. So it's not like something out of this world. No, it's just at our reach. It's doable. Yeah, it is. Even our little flat, maybe our 2-bedroom flat, our 3-bedroom flat, can be covered. We can cover it under insurance. Yes, under your house insurance. Yeah, you can. You're not the landlord. You don't have to own a house before you can do your insurance. We can do insurance for your property in that your 2-bedroom flat, also 2-bedroom flat. Even your one room self-contained can be taken care of under insurance. Yes. And what's the rate with that? Maybe 0.2,
Of the
as
amount.
little as that. So I don't think it's something out of this world. It's just for us to put our mind to do. Yeah.
There's also the need for a lot of sensitization, because people really don't know, what it is. So, for example, with what you have mentioned, right? So if you're asking, a regular person, to say, oh, come and do insurance with me or with my firm, they really don't know what they stand to benefit. So I think it would, the onus is actually on us to create that awareness so that people really understand that, oh, you mean I can access this? You mean I don't need to spend, from whatever I have saved or, whatever salaries I've earned, to sort out this damage because it's been insured. I think it's something that needs to, be in literally everybody's faces. People need to hear about it. So it helped a whole lot, particularly now that everybody's just trying to, manage, and gather, what they have together. So it's something that is very important for every individual
Yeah,
to have.
I agree with you. Thank you very much. I think the awareness thing we need to still work on as an
Yeah.
industry. Yes, it's better now than what it used to be. So
Mm.
I think it's an ongoing thing, people getting to understand, to know, they are becoming more aware of insurance, and this will keep on doing, will continue to do it until, it becomes like
Yeah.
everybody is
Mhm.
insured one way or another.
Mhm.
So thank you so very much,
Mhm.
Todimu. As a
No problem.
way of wrapping up today's conversation, one thing clear, women and money is not just about income, it's about confidence, access, knowledge, and empowerment. The more women understand and control their finances, the more they
Mhm.
can shape their futures and the future of their families and community.
Mhm.
Thank you, everyone, for
Yeah.
joining in. So, Dimo, over to you. Do you have something to say before we call it today?
Well, so I think I have said it several times here this morning, but I think I'll just have to say it again. Um, if there's anything that you need to automate in your life right now is, setting up an emergency fund. And the next would be creating an avenue whereby you can secure all of your assets. So would you automate your insurance premium so that you're at every point in time covered? Because I heard a couple of people that would say, oh, it was the day their insurance expired, that something happened to them, and all of it. So automate it. So it's off you, and then you're covered and protected. So that would just be my 2 cents. Thank you.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Do we have anyone trying to say something to us from the audience? Please unmute and speak.
Yes, I think we should also have a man speak. We haven't heard their voices.
Olabomi, is your hand up or it's still the same hand? It should be
No,
paying you
it's
by
not the
now.
same. It's not the same hand. I just kept my hand up.
Okay,
While you
okay.
were speaking about insurance, so the mom mentioned issue of how much can I insure? What can be the value of my property and assets? We are not just speaking to the people around here. We are actually addressing the whole populace as to even the people that are far below the rung of the ladder, the artisan and so of them. And in the spirit of financial inclusion that we've been having, we know that there are so many people that they don't even have 10,000, but they have an account with OPay and the rest of them. It's
Mhm.
the same way insurance has come up with the micro insurance that
Okay.
takes care of some values that are even lesser than a 1 million. You understand? So there's
Okay.
actually insurance for those category of people,
Okay.
and that is why we have the micro insurance amongst other things. Then talking about the issue of the premium, it's just a rate against the value that you are bringing forth as the value of your assets. And
Mm.
one other thing that I'm taking home with what you said to the moon is that we should learn to automate, because some of us, we are quick to renew our vehicle license
Mhm.
and not our insurances, because more or less we're almost begging for it. So I think automation.
Yeah.
And then you also spoke about the awareness. It's so unfortunate that the awareness of insurance, despite all we've actually been taught, there's been a lot of market storms and the rest of it. And yet people still don't.
Understand.
There was a guy that went around the markets and he was like, tell me, list 5 insurance companies that you know, and I'll give you a 20,000. And he went around the whole market, and nobody could come up with two name of an insurance company. It's like going and say that mention 5 banks. You will say UBA, Union Bank,
Yeah.
even if you are not calling the most recent bank. So there's still a lot that has to be done on the issue of awareness as regard insurance.
Yeah.
So I think it's been a very, very interactive and educative session, and it's been a nice one. So
Thank
think
you.
finance and think protection. Thank
Exactly.
you. It's been a wonderful session.
Thank you so much.
Thank
I like
you.
that
Do we have
title.
any man in the house? Please, a man should speak to us.
Yes,
We
so
need
we
a
are the
man to
men
say
now.
something. Exactly. I'll call names, so.
Exactly. Oh.
Uh-huh.
Let's call their
So
names.
who is
Oh.
going to
Them
build
up.
the men now?
I'd like to say
I,
something. Hello, can everyone hear me?
Okay. Yes, we
yes,
can.
please.
Okay, good morning. Okay.
Good morning.
Morning.
Hello, should I go on?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, we're listening.
Okay, good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for your session. I think it's been quite insightful and educative, even though the idea was to speak to women, we also as men took certain things out of it. And I think one of the most important thing that I took out from it is that we as men, it's important for us to have very intelligent debate about around certain stereotyping that we have, especially when it comes to the female gender, because most of these generic stereotype are just passed down to us, and we also, because most times it's usually way more stressful and demanding for us to question stereotype than to just go along with it. We also just take it and say, chances are a woman cannot do this. Chances are because she's pregnant, she can't do this and the likes. It's important for us to question those stereotypes and start giving women those opportunities, because if there is anything we've learned in the past 5 years or in the past 10 years, is that women bring just as more to the table as their
That's right.
male counterpart do. Thank you again for an insightful session.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you for your feedback.
Adeshina Isokun, you want to say something to us?
Hello, good morning.
Good
Ibrahim
morning.
Good
Quadri.
morning. Okay.
Well
Quadri,
done
please go ahead and speak.
for the wonderful session.
Thank you.
Been a wonderful and interactive one. So what I just want to add to the what you guys have been talking to is that for the upcoming ladies, for any profession they themselves, they should try associating with those people are existing. For instance, in insurance, we have the Professional Insurance Ladies Association, which is PILA, and I know quite all right. Different professions, different women are there that they can connect and then interact in terms of meeting new people and then exchange knowledge. So that's my own contribution.
Yeah. I agree. Mentoring, yeah, it's also very important. Thank you so much. Yeah.
So Adeshina Isokun, we are waiting for you. Say something to us. As the man that's always paying out the claims, what advice do you have for women? No one has something to us. Anyways, I think we've been able to do justice to the topic today. So thank you once again, Todimu.
Thank you for having me. It was quite engaging. It's just something that we have to do. I like what one of the men said, where he spoke about also, should I say, creating awareness and letting men know that there are certain stereotypes that do not make sense anymore.
Anymore.
So you have to start, rethinking certain things and trying to see how to give equal opportunities, irrespective of the gender. I think that's very valid. Yeah.
Very key.
Yeah.
Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. Do have a wonderful day.
Thank
Bye.
you. Bye.